Hey, buenos dias, Pastor Junior. Hey, I got another word, right? Pero, um, there's a statement que dice, I didn't just find God in prison. I brought him with me. Right? I go, man, I got to share that one también. There's a statement que dice, I didn't just find Jesus in prison. No, I brought him with me. And that reminded me of, it reminded me of the other one too, right? Que dice, jailhouse religion, pretending to be holy, right? Que dice, jailhouse religion, pretending to be holy, you know? Pero, the statement once again, it says, I didn't just find Jesus in prison. No, I brought him with me, right? And that's the real deal, right? He wasn't just faking it. I mean, homeboy brought it home and applied to his life. And that reminded me of John chapter 4 with Jesus and the Samaritan woman. When Jesus revealed her past and her present. When he told her, I got some, hey, if you would only know the one who's asking you for water, you would ask him for water, And she says, what kind of water? Pues no, pues I have living water. She said, and he says, hey man, she goes, well, give me some of that water so I don't have to come to this well again, right? Jacob's well. And Jesus told her, hey man, you go call your husband and so he could partake of it too. And she's like, well, I have no husband, right? And what did she say? And what did he say? He goes, well, you're right. You had 5 husbands and the one you're living with is not your husband tampoco, But look at, her testimony, right? Her testimony is what speaks volume. Right here in John chapter 4. John chapter 4 verse 39 que dice, and many of the Samaritans, right, because she was a Samaritan. John chapter 4 verse 39 says, and many of the Samaritans of that city believed in him, right, believed in Jesus because of the word of the woman who testified, right, so it's her testimony, of the woman who testified, he told me all that I had ever did. Notice what a testimony in John chapter 4 verse 39. Once again, it says many of the Samaritans of the city believed in him because of what? Because of the word of the woman. And what was the word of the woman? Well, the woman who testified and said, he told me all that I had ever did. He told me all that I have ever did. Jesus told her all that she ever did. Right? What does that mean? Well, that means that your sin may be personal. Right? Your sin may be personal, but it's not private. What does that mean? That means that your sin may be personal, but it's not private. Right? But once again, with our statement que dice, I didn't just find Jesus. I didn't just find God in prison. No, I brought him with me. Right? But it also reminded me of the Hebrews, right? So here's another word. Paul writing to the Hebrews, he said in Hebrews chapter 13 verse 3, he said, remember those in prison as if chained with them. As if chained with them. Right? Those who are what? Who are mistreated. Right? Those who are mistreated. It reminded me of when I got called to the jail ministry. Right? It was a sister that came to me. She goes, Pastor Junior, will you visit my son? He just turned 21 and he's right here at the county. And I said, okay, well, I'll tell you what. I told, go talk to homeboy right there, right? And tell him that I'm not there to get him out of his cell. Tell him that I'm there to share Christ with him, right? I'm there to share Christ with him. And if he's ready for what the Lord has for him, then I'll go and I'll spend time with homeboy right there. But bring me his booking number, and if he's ready, pues órale. And she came back with his booking number, right? And I spent 4 years with homeboy. So I went to visit the homie in jail, right? And when I told him the same thing, I told him, hey man, look, I'm here to give you what Christ has for you, and if you're willing to listen and you want that for your life, then I'm willing to spend time with you. And then he said, yeah, I want what God has. I want what God has for me. And I said, okay. So I go out. Let me pray for you. When I started praying with him, I started praying for him, right? And when I was praying for him, God revealed it to me because he wanted me to spend time with homeboy right here because he started praying with me. So the prayer that I prayed, he prayed, right? And so God revealed it to me that he wanted me to spend time with him for the time that he had, 4 years. But once again, what's the title of our message? I didn't just find Jesus. I didn't just find God in prison. No, I brought him with me. I just had to share that, man. Orale. Just a word of encouragement.